I believe my brother has been replaced. Posted in RBI, which if I'm remembering correctly is Reddit Bureau of Investigation. Originally posted July 4th, 2025. I, male 30, want to preface by saying I'm not mentally ill, and this is not the schizo post you are expecting. I have no better way to articulate what I'm thinking right now. My brother, male 20, just came back from his gap year, traveling Asia in hopes that he'd find himself. We were never really close, so this lack of contact during this year didn't strike me with too much alarm, but my parents have informed me of 3 separate incidences in which they needed to contact consulate authorities to ask about him. He's a mommy's boy, so this did seem very out of character. We hosted a dinner for my brother's return to the country, but upon seeing him at the airport, it was like a stranger tried to draw my brother from memory and pass that as the real thing. He looked completely different. He was severely underweight. He looked 2 to 3 inches shorter. He seemed bedraggled and unkempt. Believe me, this was the opposite of my brother prior to his trip. He has always been a germaphobe, someone who washes his hands twice to make sure he eliminates all the bacteria. But this guy, he smelled horrendous. He didn't even talk to us or properly acknowledge our existence. He begrudgingly gave our mom a hug and our dad a handshake. He did not say hello to me. It's been around 2 weeks, and what I've been hearing from my parents is horrifying. Apparently, he's been extremely active at night and sleeping during the day. They can only get faint murmurs out of him, and his speech is becoming increasingly nonsensical. He doesn't shower. He doesn't seem to eat. He spends all of his time locked away in his room, doing something, in parentheses, my parents don't know what, extremely loud. They've already contacted a doctor, and he's on a waiting list to see a therapist. I suggested getting the police involved, but they were determined not to. My mom is afraid, and I don't know what to do. I volunteered to stay over and be the peacekeeper, as our parents are getting old, and I'm personally worried about that psycho doing something to them. However, my parents have too rejected this. I was never close with my brother, but this isn't him at all. Does anyone know what could have caused this? Or what we can do? It's like someone kidnapped my brother and replaced him with the dude from Castaway. Shit, this might be out of my pay grade, y'all. I don't know. This is like, bro, get off of Reddit and get a doctor to help your brother as soon as possible. Actually, let me read the edit and the relevant comments because I feel like I don't even know where to start with this. So maybe the comments will help me with that. So in the edit, OP says, I've seen a lot of people suggest theories including drug use or underlying mental health issues. I had my mother over today primarily to talk about my brother's condition. My wife was against mentioning the DNA test I ordered, so they are still unaware of my suspicions. Wait, where did this DNA test come from? Okay, maybe that's something that's answered in the relevant comments? My mom told me about the 3 incidents involving the authorities in Vietnam. The first one was a wellness check after my parents heard nothing from him for about a week. This might have been overzealousness on my mom's part. The second and third instances were actually a part of the same correspondence, but turned out to be much more disturbing than I thought. Local authorities were worried my brother and 2 other female friends had been trafficked in Laos as they failed to return to Vietnam on time. However, this was resolved after half a month. I have no idea the status of his friends, but I suspect they all returned to Vietnam together. Whoa, okay, that's wow. With regards to my brother at present, my parents have since agreed to my suggestions of adding cameras to communal areas as well as installing a doorstop in their own room. They have also given me news that they will go private to seek psychiatric treatment for him starting next week. We'll keep you all updated. Okay, I think that's definitely the right move. Something for sure happened. This is a huge violation of privacy. Like, honestly, y'all, I want them to figure out what he's doing in his room. He spends all of his time locked away in his room doing something extremely loudly. Like, that to me almost seems like a big indicator of whatever he's doing in that room probably directly correlates to giving more information on like what is happening in this guy. I'm not saying this is the right answer, but like I almost want them to put a video camera in there. Like, I know that's super invasive of privacy, but at a certain point, I think for his safety, it almost makes sense, right? I don't know. Probably not the right answer, but like how else are they going to figure out that answer? Let me read the relevant comments here because I think this will at least give some more maybe educated answers from people who are more exposed to this. Relevant comments. First comment. A hard drug addiction is most likely the answer. DNA testing will clear this up real quick. If the result is a match, I'd suggest you seek counseling for both of you. In that case, either he's done a lot of hard drugs and needs help, or you have some tendencies toward delusion. If the DNA is not a match, you've got your hard proof and can probably get the help you need. Okay, I can't tell if this commenter is saying that OP is delusional or if he's talking about delusion with the brother, but I also don't really understand this DNA thing. Like, what do you mean if the DNA is not a match? A match to what? A match to the family? Is there like matches within your DNA that can say whether or not you are on hard drugs? I actually am really confused by this. The kind of resources needed to pull off a scheme you're describing would make it a very odd way to spend one's time. Finding someone similar looking enough to fool not only airport authorities, but also family has got to be difficult and expensive. If your family is not high profile, I'm talking head of state, Fortune 500, C-suite, or otherwise ultra wealthy, it would not make any sense to pull something off like this. Even then, it's such a crazy scheme, I can't imagine anyone actually trying it, and to what end? An inheritance scheme or something? Interesting. Okay, so I guess we didn't lean into the fact that it is a little crazy to think that your family member has been replaced, but I thought it was more of like a metaphor out of anything. I don't think he was actually saying my brother got replaced, help. I think he was like saying like the dude that rolled up is not acting like how my brother acts, but I don't know. Let me see what OP responded to that. OP replied, my family is quite controversial, particularly for Vietnam, which is mainly why my parents were against my brother's gap year to begin with. I can't elaborate further on that regard, unfortunately, but there is definitely reason for something like this to happen. Whoa, this is getting even more sketchy, y'all. So you're saying there is like a benefit to replacing your brother with a doppelganger? That's fucking crazy. Okay, maybe this is on some like weird shit, yo. OP could also have Capgras delusion. What is that? But here's the thing, y'all, is it's not just OP, right? It's the parents too. The parents are also identifying that this person's acting weird, right? Hold on, let's keep going. A second commenter said, I'm definitely on board with this. Please make sure to get help ASAP. Lack of sleep, hygiene, social withdrawal, etc. It has a tendency to spiral quite fast, and you should really push psychological/clinical help ASAP. Not only for his safety, but for your parents. It's not something that will pass by itself or can be cured with love. Please keep in mind that voices/visions usually start out quite friendly. What country did he go to? Regarding the height difference, you could easily shrink 2 inches just from terrible posture. Otherwise, it can indicate osteoporosis. Please stay safe. OP just replied, I'm not quite sure of all the countries, but I think Vietnam and Laos were a part of it. Wait, did he say that he looked shorter? Did I miss that? Oh yeah, he was severely underweight. He looked 2 to 3 inches shorter. He seemed bed-raggled and unkempt. Okay, that is actually very suspicious. You don't just magically get 2 to 3 inches shorter. Bro, this is a trip. I feel like I just stumbled upon some government conspiracy or some shit like that. A third commenter said, do you mean that you literally think someone else is pretending to be your brother, or are you speaking more figuratively and you think your brother is just acting different? OP, it was meant to be figuratively, but I would be lying if I said I wasn't genuinely concerned. A fourth commenter said, sorry, but he's in your house doing things in his room loudly and you can't go and check on him? What the fuck? Break down the fucking door. What the fuck are you doing? Do your parents own the house, or does your brother? Remember that instance of that stupid mother who basically left her son to his own devices as he constructed a guillotine in his own room to K-word himself, and the mom never saw the inside of the room because of privacy? Time to get a backbone and step up. He almost certainly is not making decisions behind that door that are good. Do what you need to do, not what's comfortable. Yeah, this is kind of like what I was referring to when I was like, maybe they should put a camera in there. Like, I understand that privacy is important, but at a certain point, safety comes above privacy, at least in my opinion, especially when like, I don't think it's just his safety. I think it's also his parents' safety. OP replied, my parents are in their 80s, and while they're very firmly against my interventions, they seem to give him a free pass. It's a sticky situation all around, plus I'm personally afraid for my parents in the event they stand up for themselves. Same commenter replied to that saying, wait, they had your brother in their 60s? OOP replied, he was a surrogate baby. Whoa, yeah, I didn't even put that together. Yeah, okay, male 20. Holy shit, that's wild. And they had OP when they were 50? Damn, okay, holy fuck. Yo, family member, dude, this is insane. Chad, this story is getting fucking nuts. Honestly, y'all, I don't even know what to say. I don't have theories. I don't have ideas. I'm flabbergasted. Here's what I will say. I'm on the wave of safety above privacy here. Now knowing the parents' ages as well, I wouldn't let them lead the charge. I think OP being concerned is the right move. And if anything, they should be more concerned. I'm still really confused about the DNA thing. So if anybody can clarify that, that would be really great. Okay, Marutman is saying that might be why he looked shorter. He's malnourished with bad posture or calcium deficiency. Okay. Capgras delusion is a psychological condition where a person actually believes their family member has been replaced by an imposter. Okay, but I'm not picking up that he's the only one who thinks this. Like, I think there are a lot of people who are like, hey, bro, your brother does not seem okay. They're talking about DNA because they thought OP meant his brother was literally replaced. Oh, interesting. That makes more sense. It was talking about hard drugs, though. So, like, I don't know. So there's an update July 6, 2025, 2 days later, and the title of it is literally Family Member Missing. Location, France. Hey, y'all, I'll keep this query as brief as possible. My brother has disappeared. My parents only noticed this morning, but it's likely he fled sometime last night as we booked psychiatric treatment for him on Tuesday. He is seriously unwell, and on another thread, people have claimed his condition might have been exacerbated through drug use. We don't want the police involved. We don't want this to be a public affair, as our family can't afford it right now. We live in a semi-rural town near the Swiss border, so we are hoping to find him before he hurts himself. How can we go about finding him? Any help would be appreciated. Commodore 1 said, you do want the police involved, trust me. That's what I was thinking. I was like, at a certain point, the police won't care about the drug use, but they will be an asset in actually finding him. Both of the other comments are just people reinforcing that OP should involve the police. I mean, it's terrible to say, but at least it's not like my parents are missing now or something like that. But still, I feel like there's not really much to say about this one. It's just like shit is going down and we just got to keep revealing the shit going down. Oh man, and this is the last update here, July 10th, 2025, 4 days later. This will be my last post on the site, and I wanted to say a quick thank you to everyone who commented. To those who provided genuine help and support, I couldn't be more thankful. My brother is dead. We found him in the early hours of this morning, and I've spent the rest of the day finding the courage to make this post. Maybe it's a shock, but I'd like to think he died over in Vietnam, and upon his return, his body was simply catching up, rather than prolong his torment. You all do a wonderful service here, so please keep doing what you're doing. All the best. No. Damn, bro. What happened to him in Vietnam? That's insane. I wonder if it was kind of to the tune of what it was saying here about the brother potentially being trafficked. Damn, that's fucking scary, dog. There are a couple comments here. I'm going to read the ones that are relevant, I guess. Commenter said, I'm sorry for your loss. Take some time away from the internet. Take care of yourself and your parents. OP said they are a lot more devastated than I am. I think it's because they view the past 20 years to be a waste. I don't view it this way. My brother lit up every room and every moment I had with him was cherished. However, I do also believe this moment was inevitable since he returned. In a weird way, I'm glad he went out on his own terms rather than endure what could have been years of pain. Wow, okay, what a weird reaction from the parents, though. They view the past 20 years to be a waste. What the fuck? How did he die? They don't tell us. The rest of the comments are just sorry for your loss, kind of some personal anecdotes that I don't think add to the story at all. Damn, editor's note, marking this concluded since OOP has deleted their account. Whoa, dude. Damn, that's terrifying. I know it's like overstepping, but I really do want to know what happened in Vietnam, because it's like, what leads to this? I almost want to know what leads to this in order to like be able to identify stuff in the future. But wow, just wow. I also am very curious, what was he doing in that room that was so loud, you know? The top comment is, I have so many questions. What is up with his family? Why are they controversial in Vietnam? What worldview could lead the parents to view their son's life as a waste of time? Why did they have a surrogate baby in their 60s? What the hell happened to this kid in Vietnam and Laos? Is this family Vietnamese? What is going on here? Yeah, there are a lot of unanswered questions, which like, I don't think we're entitled to knowing the answers of them, but it's just a scary story, man. Like, especially I'm about to go travel to another country in like a month. Definitely not the story you want to be hearing during that. That's so crazy, man. I think he got trafficked and abused. That's what I'm thinking, Mold Sport. Like, I think the drug abuse thing probably was from him getting trafficked, because I know a way that they keep people that they're trafficking more compliant is by giving them drugs. If they're Vietnamese in their 80s and in a country that speaks French, they were involved in some shady government shit in the 60s/70s is my guess. Plus the means to hire a surrogate, they were well off. And then someone clarified using a surrogate is also illegal in France. Whoa. Yeah, this whole story was a little sketchy, but I still feel bad because it ended really poorly. Like, definitely not happy ending. Y'all, I feel like I just like stumbled upon a conspiracy. Like, I got to watch a conspiracy unfold, but never get resolved. And now it's going to be like an open loop that never gets closed. Terrifying, bro. The refusal to involve police is sus. That's a good point, Mbem. I didn't even think about that. That is also a very sus part. Like, why do they not want to involve the police? Maybe the parents had something to do with it all? That's actually a good theory, Zara. Low key. Very sketchy, y'all. Very sketchy.